In this video, we're going to talk about Pinnel's case, a seminal consideration case in contract law. Any discussion about the controversial principle that part payment of a debt cannot constitute good consideration must have Pinnel's case as its starting point. The case is old, but the facts are relatively straightforward. Cole had owed Pinnel a debt of approximately £8. This would of course be a binding contract. Now when Pinnel asked for the money back in court, Cole had argued that he had, at Pinnel's request, already tendered approximately £5 before the debt was due, and Pinnel had accepted it in full satisfaction for the debt. So the essential question is, can Cole's part payment of a debt be good consideration for an agreement to discharge the entire debt of £8 with Pinnel? Now the court held, as a general rule, that payment of a lesser sum on the day in satisfaction of a greater cannot be any satisfaction for the whole. But the gift of a horse, hawk, or robe, etc., in satisfaction is good, for it shall be intended that the horse, hawk, or robe might be more beneficial to the plaintiff than the money. Despite the flowery language used here, the principle is relatively straightforward. If A owes B a sum of money, when the debt becomes due, i.e. when A has to return the money, A cannot provide part payment of a debt to discharge the entire debt, even if it seems that B had accepted it in full satisfaction. Now, as a caveat, this is all subject to the principle of estoppel. The exception to this rule is if the part payment by A was accompanied by some sort of fresh consideration, hence the analogy of horse, hawk, and robe used by the court. In this case, the court held that the part payment by Cole, because it was made earlier than the date in which the debt was due, the earliness, for lack of a better word, of that part payment can be good consideration for an agreement to discharge the entirety of the debt. From a commercial standpoint, it might be that this is reasonable because Pinnel had an extra cash flow from a date before when he was expected to be repaid by Cole. Hence the court held acceptance of parcel before the day in satisfaction of the whole would be good satisfaction in regard of circumstances of time, for pre-adventure parcel of it before the day would be more beneficial to him than the whole at the day.